The darker view is that the excess manipulation of money blows up the entire system. And that's a lot of people hold that view, that you end up with a hyperinflation or something of that sort, a total economic collapse. But I struggle to get to that answer because in every circumstance, when asset prices collapse or something goes wrong, they just print money. And when you're the world's reserve currency, it's bloody difficult to hyperinflate it. So what you end up with is this ridiculous rise in asset prices, which then gets rid of this ability to have this massive downside. There's no more money left over.
Today, we'll be tuning in to excerpts from Raoul Pal's latest interview, featuring the renowned market analyst, former Goldman Sachs executive, and current CEO of Real Vision. In this interview, he'll shed light on his market perspective and explain why he believes the entire financial system, as we know it today, is on the brink of collapse, a concerning situation stemming from excessive money printing and misguided monetary policies adopted over recent years. Fiat currencies worldwide are feeling the strain, with escalating inflation rates being reported in many countries as we speak. Raoul Pal elucidates that the consequences of this are already unfolding, and it's the ordinary people who will bear the brunt of the economic downturn. Those currently struggling to put food on the table, with the majority unable even to dream of owning a home, are set to face the harshest realities. Pal predicts that this situation will only worsen over time, anticipating significant bank runs driven by the soaring interest rates currently observed in the United States. According to Pal, these events could escalate rapidly in 2024, emphasizing the need to be well prepared if we want to avoid adverse consequences. So, let's delve into Raoul Pal's insights and explore the rationale behind his predictions. But before we begin, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. This is the only way this free content can thrive, enabling me to bring you more and better videos like this. Your support would be greatly appreciated. Now, without further ado, let's dive into the video.
So when you debase a currency, it doesn't let wages go up or even corporate earnings go up. It makes asset prices go up. So those who can afford assets outperform or at least protect their wealth. Everybody else who earns wages and doesn't have much assets, they get their future self. An asset is your ability to put money in now and take it out later. It's future deferred consumption. If you can't buy assets, your future self is getting poorer. That's why we have a pension system. That's why people buy real estate. That's why they buy gold. All of these things. So what they're doing by debasing the currency by whatever the number is, 15% a year, is they are mutualizing the costs of servicing the debt. But it's mutualizing it across the poorer people, which is what makes everybody so angry. Because they don't understand this card trick that's being played on them. It's the same as raising taxes on them all, but they don't realize. They just know that something's not right. Why do my wages not really go up, but everything else goes up around me? Why can't I afford a house and my parents could afford a house? Why could my parents have, a larger percentage in their 401k and I can't? It's because of this. And that's what the central banks are doing. The destruction of the American dream has come from that real wages haven't really ever gone up. That's the dirty secret. Nobody really got richer. And everybody financed consumption via debt, which made their future selves poorer as well. And so that's been a real problem for people. So then you say, okay, the millennial cohort, what do they do about it? And I did that piece, that famous YouTube video called The Retirement Crisis, where I said, well, if you're a millennial, you have basically one choice, which was crypto. And that's why crypto has resonated so well for people, because they can see a way out. But it's hard because it's very volatile too. But that's why it's kind of gripped the younger people, as have technology stocks. That's why people love Tesla. It might produce amazing cars, but it also has produced amazing performance for people. And people need that because there's no other way, because it's not going to be made up with wages.
Raoul Pal points out that for those unable to invest in assets, the trajectory is clear. Everything will become more expensive over time, but their salaries won't keep pace. Buying a house will increasingly feel like an unattainable goal, and leading a comfortable, financially worry-free life will slip into the realm of dreams for many. People find themselves increasingly ensnared, and that's why Pal believes that many have sought an escape in cryptocurrencies, a part of the technological wave that is reshaping the world and the economy as we know it. These technologies might be daunting for some, but according to Pal, they are ushering in a revolution that will propel us into a future where we could experience massive economic expansion. However, this comes with the trade-off of diminishing human intervention. Let's hear it in his own words.
2008, every major government in the world of a developed economy hit 100% of GDP in debt. So, okay, and interest rates, let's say 5-year interest rates where they generally finance themselves, have averaged around 2% or less. But so is economic growth. So if you think of GDP as all of the money circulating around to pay for the debt, there's no more money left over. But the problem is the private sector is over 100% of GDP in debt in every major country. So who pays for that debt? So that's when they started shoving the interest payment debt onto the balance sheets, because the world basically hit the tipping point in 2008, and people still haven't worked this out. But I think I was the first person, and still maybe the only person, who's gone back and calculated all of the interest payments and realized that they are, and the balance sheet growth, and realized that they are just 3.5 years apart, the same chart. They just keep monetizing it. And that's the way that they see out of the debt, is to mutualize those payments across everybody by increasing the balance sheet. But the debt doesn't go away because GDP is not growing fast enough. So you have to change the GDP formula. If not, you're in this endless trap where you're printing more and more money, making the rich richer, the poor poorer, ad infinitum. And I think that for individuals, as I said, there's only 2 assets that outperform this. That's technology and that's crypto. Okay, fine. The economy, that's really hard to get this to sort itself out. People are waiting for a collapse and markets down 80%. It can't. The reason it can't is the central bank debased the currency and it makes the stock market go up optically, because they can't allow the collateral of the system to go bust. So they don't allow the system to go bust, and it creates this ongoing problem. But if you listen to the narratives from the central banks and the governments, what they're really saying is the whole green energy revolution. Europe is massively funding this. And yes, it's good for the planet. Yes, it's good for a number of things. But really what they're trying to do is lower the cost of electricity. Because if you lower the cost of electricity, it has this multiplier effect on productivity. And that's how you can grow GDP growth. The other thing is population. Well, we're shrinking populations, as I said, so we have to replace people. So look at Amazon warehouses. The growth is not in people, the growth is in the robots. The robots work 24/7, 365, they never complain, and they cost a fraction of a human. So every company is incentivized to employ robots to do jobs instead of humans. Then this year we had the nuclear bomb of deflation, which is human knowledge, lawyers, doctors, accountants, creative artists, developers, everybody, and they're replaceable via the infinite knowledge machine that is AI. So that's scary for us as individuals. But if population growth is a large part of the components of GDP growth, you can create infinite people.
Raoul Pal breaks down the dynamics of relentless money printing, illustrating how it has driven the poor deeper into poverty and the rich into greater affluence over the years. He also addresses the issue of national debt and the central bank's manipulation to keep kicking that debt down the road at the expense of the working class. Simultaneously, Pal delves into the future of work and economic growth, pointing to technology as the driving force. He believes that both cryptocurrencies and the rise of robots and artificial intelligence will propel us into a new economic era, gradually replacing human capital at a highly accelerated pace. It's in this landscape that he identifies some of the most significant investment opportunities available today. But let's keep listening to what else he has to say.
So there are schools of thought, even coming out of Oxford University, that says we could hit a tipping point where the GDP of the planet doubles in a year or even a week. Now that sounds extreme, but if you put infinite people or infinite productive units into the economy, you can make infinite goods. Now, who pays for the goods? Maybe the machines pay for the goods. We don't know. This is a whole new economic system being built in front of our eyes. This is something I call the exponential age, which is where all of these technologies are coming together, from energy to AI, to robotics, to EV, to space, to 5G, 6G, all of these things, biotech, all coming together, genetic sciences, to create this fastest period of technological change in all of humanity. And it's the only way out, and it's scary. When I discovered this whole understanding, both the exponential age and the everything code that came later, it was like a veil had been lifted from my eyes. Macro guys generally tended to be mean reversion guys. They look for something to get excessive, then they want to, bet against it. And they see the world like this, like the business cycle. And none of us could understand technology and why it kept going up. We kind of could understand crypto because it's like this macro phenomena of, a whole different financial system, parallel financial system, getting adoption, etc. But technology, none of us got, apart from the few. And when I started dividing everything by the central bank balance sheets to take account debasement, I saw that technology was one of the things that just kept rising. And that led me to dig into this whole process. And that completely changed my framework of the world. I wasn't looking for the blow up now. I was looking for the melt up. And, crypto markets had taught me to use these logarithmic charts of these trends. If you look at the chart of Amazon, Apple, Google, Facebook, all of these, on a logarithmic chart, they're almost perfectly smooth trends. They're network adoption models. But when you look at them normally, they look like they go up and down a lot. Yes, they do, but within a consistent, secular, powerful trend. Once I saw that, I'm like, if our job is to make money, then this is the trend you need to be on, the secular trend, because it's driven by the central banks. It's driven by technology itself, but then also driven by the central banks debasing. So you get the double whammy from it. It's like, okay, this is perfect. And it also is the answer to the massive macro problem of excess debt and slowed GDP and aging populations. So when you've got something that's so against the persistent narrative that everything's screwed and it's all going to go wrong, and you see it and do a lot of hundreds of hours of research on it, and you come up with a completely opposite view, it's like, oh my God. And then I started surfacing that view for Global Macro Investor, and then within Real Vision and elsewhere. And it was like a light bulb moment for people. They're like, oh my God, I suddenly now understand why things are happening as they are, why technology stocks keep outperforming, why crypto keeps going up, why people are angry, why politics have become so polarized. It all starts to make sense. And if we can make money from it, great.
Raoul Pal envisions a future where crypto, AI, robots, and other groundbreaking technologies take center stage in an unprecedented digital economy. He believes that this scenario presents one of the most significant investment opportunities we are witnessing right now, even though these markets are still incredibly immature. What are your thoughts on all of this? I would love to hear your opinions down below in the comment box. If you found this video helpful or entertaining, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more similar content. We are Wealth Wizards, wishing you an excellent day. Goodbye.